Hello Sagittarius, welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. If Sagittarius is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your reading. Please hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. And if there's anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards. Use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Sagittarius, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And wow, 6 of Cups. That should make us very happy. Let's put that into some context. Let's see what's going on here and what else we might have. All right, we've got some good air energy, more good water energy. Water and air, and some fire and earth. That's pretty good. Let's do our mystery card before I forget again, which I had done recently. We're going to select one card. We're using the Smith-Waite Tarot. And this is one random card that we are just going to set aside. We'll put the frog on top if it doesn't leap away. And hopefully at the end of the reading, that will tie everything together and give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. All right. Now let's take a look at what we've got. We've got water, 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 water. We've got some air, air, air. We've got some fire, fire. And we've got a little bit of earth. And there's only the one major arcana card, which is some really heavy water energy. We have there's a lot of water. Just the Queen of Cups is some very deep water, right? This is depth. We have clarity. We've got a lot going on, but with some very, very simple cards, some very refined energy. Look, we have an ace, we have a 3, we have a 4, we have a 6 and an 8 here in the middle, which I think we need to talk about these first. We have some fire and some water. First of all, the 6 of Cups here, this is a beautiful card. This is peace. This is tranquility, right? I think that this is what we're trying to protect, okay? This is the balance and the calmness, really the inner peace that we're looking for. And we want to maintain this, okay? I think a lot of the other energies that are around here are here for us to maintain this peace and tranquility, this harmony that we're finding, okay? I think that you're someone who values respect. You value honesty. You value and you appreciate other people who also value and appreciate you. You're very, very fair in that way. You know, you really, you like to give as much as you like to receive. You're someone who is very supportive of your loved ones, your pets, your plants, you know, your people. You really thrive in this harmonious kind of world, right? I think that you have a lot to give, a lot of love in you. You have a lot of creativity. You have a lot of this, you have a lot of desire for self-understanding, self-knowledge, and connection. You know, you're looking to really make, I think, very deep connections with people, with your environment, again, through either through the work that you're doing, through your personal relationships, through your creative outlet, through, you know, your career choices, everything. I think everything in your life is connecting you with your environment and with other people, right? Connecting energies together. So I feel like this is where you feel the best, you feel the most secure, the most productive. You feel the safest when you have this kind of inner peace and you feel you feel like you're right where you're supposed to be, you know. But I think there's something going on down below that's causing some anxiety. Here's a Knight of Swords. So this is something that's beginning to bother you. It's kind of like a little fire that's like welling up in your gut. It's starting to bother you a little bit. You know, it's like you're getting a little bit of a rumble in your tummy. And what is it doing? It's the fire of the air, first of all, with the Knight of Swords. So there's a connection with this fire energy. I think the fire, it's kind of starting to bubble up a little bit, almost like a little bit of, you know, acid reflux. You kind of feel it in your tummy a little bit before you know it. It's starting to come up, not to be gross or anything, but we've got this fire energy that is threatening to overtake our really peaceful, calm, very satisfied, very pleased kind of attitude, right? And it has to do with maybe an air sign person, but maybe not. This might be some kind of issue, of conflict, some kind of turmoil, some kind of friction with somebody that still bothers you. Okay. It's down beneath the surface. I think this is an issue that we have with someone. We're trying to ignore it. Right? Could be a friend, maybe that you just something happened there. Could be a family member, could be one of your in-laws, could be a coworker. Right? They don't have to be an air sign. But I think that something happened between the two of you that still bothers you. Now, maybe you don't talk to this person anymore. But for whatever reason, maybe because of the timing, maybe it's just something else going on in your world brought this back up. You're starting to kind of feel it in your gut a little bit again. It's that uneasy kind of feeling. And I don't really know what happened here. I'm trying to look around. It might all be centered on this Hanged Man energy, to be honest with you. It could be something where you made a sacrifice for someone, and I don't know that they really appreciated it. I don't know that they took advantage of it. It could be that you were trying to provide an opportunity for someone and they squandered it. I'm feeling like you put yourself in this Hanged Man position for the sake of someone else, and it didn't really go well. They didn't appreciate it. They didn't recognize it. They didn't take full advantage of that. Okay. I think something along those lines is going on, because there is a lot of water here, right? There's some air energy surrounding our water, right? So in order to protect this water and the connection, the beauty, harmony, the understanding, the real experience of life that we're seeking, because we're looking to get up here in that Queen of Cups. We're trying to be as compassionate as possible. We're trying to be as understanding. We're trying to use all of the air energy that's around us, our interpersonal relationships, the conflicts, the friction, just the air, right? We're trying to use all of that as learning experience, as a way to reflect, as a way to deepen our understanding of ourself and our connection with the world around us. So I think that's why we have a Queen of Cups here at the top of the path of the dove. This is really what we're shooting for. We want to be understanding. We want to lift the veil here between ourselves and between the world. We don't want these maybe petty incidences to spoil our good water energy, right? So it's kind of like we're trying not to let these things bother us, but I feel with this fire energy, you're having a difficult time holding yourself back, right? This is the Eight of Wands. This is Mercury in Sagittarius. So this is a little bit of your kind of Mercury mind running through your energy. I feel like it's getting more and more difficult to kind of hold back. Maybe we tried to ignore it for a time. We pushed it down here to the bottom. We're just ignoring it, trying to forget about it, trying to maybe let it go. But I feel it kind of eating away at you a little bit, you know. I feel like it still bothers you, and it's starting to cause a little bit of agitation, a little bit of anxiety. I think it's affecting this peace and tranquility that we really want to experience. We want to be completely Zen-like and monks, and nothing bothers us, and we're just blissful all the time. But whatever this person did bugs you, and that's okay. Now, looking at the recent past, we've got this Ace of Swords. I wonder if this is kind of one of these Zen-like, Buddhist kind of attitudes. We're blissful. We're trying to just, like, nothing bothers us anymore, Because of this Ace of Swords, I wonder if this was an experience of enlightenment or a spiritual attainment, right? Or some kind of religious experience, some kind of an activation of energy, a chakra activation, that maybe we interpreted as, I'm not going to be bothered by discord in my relationships anymore. I'm not going to let the petty actions of the world around me bring me down or spoil my good mood. Yeah. I think that's a common misconception with enlightenment. Enlightenment, in my opinion, and I think from what these cards and what these energies are telling us, enlightenment is not about no longer having problems. It's not about getting rid of the bad and only having the good, I think it's about transcending both of those. That's still in our lives. We're still going to have good days and bad days. We're still going to get mad and irritated and annoyed at people. We're still going to sometimes say things we don't mean, or we're not too pleased with ourselves at the end of the day sometimes. But that's okay. I think that what we're really looking for is an acceptance of all of that, the good and the bad. We're not perfect. The Six of Cups, yeah, it looks perfect. It certainly looks perfect. And this is about finding the perfection even in the discord, even in the tumult, even in the chaos, and in the so-called negative feelings or emotions or expressions, behaviors. Finding the joy, finding the perfection even in all of that, right? It's not about negating any aspect of ourselves or trying to deny how we feel. This person ripped you off in some way, right? Maybe emotionally, maybe financially. They have offended you, and that's okay to feel that. With the Six of Cups, we get this impression that everything has to be good and pleasurable and blissful and joyful. Well, yes, but there's still going to be people that annoy us, right? And just because we have these kinds of feelings toward some people doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with us, right? So what I kind of am feeling here is that we're trying to ignore this person bugging us in whatever way. I mean, it even kind of looks like a bug, right? Looks like they're just kind of really irritating you. What we're trying to do is reflect on what that might mean, right? And I don't want this impression out there that because you're feeling irritated toward this person, that it somehow means that you don't know yourself, somehow means that you are not as spiritual as you think you are. I think that's a load of BS, to be honest with you, right? I think the most spiritual we can be is to accept us as we are, to accept our humanness. That sometimes, yes, things are going to bug us. And with the Eight of Wands, yeah, sometimes I'm not going to react the way I wish I would have. Sometimes I'm not always going to be able to hold in all of this fire energy. But this, I think, is part of the learning process. This is part of the ongoing process of enlightenment. Enlightenment is not just a one and done kind of thing. It's not just an Ace of Swords moment where you say, aha, I've discovered the meaning of life. and then that's it, and then you're perfect from there on out. It's an ongoing process at every situation we're in, especially the people that bug us, right? Especially the people that we feel offended by for some reason. Maybe they ripped you off. Maybe they disrespected you. And the Hanged Man has some things to say about that as well. We'll get over there. It's particularly these situations or these relationships with people that do allow us to reflect the most on who we are. So I kind of feel like in every one of these people, maybe this isn't one particular person for you. Maybe this has been a series of people, someone at work, and then it was someone at the coffee shop, and it was someone on the highway, or a family member, maybe a pet. It's just when we get irritated by things, that reveals a lot to us, and that is an opportunity for us to use our mental capacity, to use our Mercury energy, and reflect, right, on the situation so that we can pierce beyond this veil and continue to know ourselves, continue to reach this state where maybe we do experience more joy than sorrow, even when the world around us keeps throwing sorrow our way, or we keep finding our way into sorrowful situations. It doesn't diminish our joyful experience of life. Okay? So I'm seeing now we've got the Ace on one side, we've got the Four of Swords on the other side. Now the Four of Swords is interesting because this is a card that says, regardless of what happened, what would it be like if you reached out and made amends with this person? What if you reached out and started a conversation? It doesn't mean that you have to let them rip you off again. But what would that teach you? Or just the thought of doing this, right? If you think about reaching out and just patching things up, right? Do a handshake, right? How does that make you feel when you think about doing that, right? Because even that prospect, I think, is revealing a lot about this Queen of Cups and what we aspire to and how we really want to get beyond just the surface reflection, just our immediate reaction to things. Let's look behind those reactions. Why are we reacting that way? What does that tell us about ourselves beneath the surface and not just on the surface of the water? Because the Queen of Cups is very deep water. Like I said, it's water on water. There's the surface level, which is just, what you see is yourself reflected back at you, right? A surface reflection. Right? It's kind of the outward appearance of things, the obvious maybe. But then there's a real depth to you. And I think you're trying to get to that depth because you want the most out of life. You want to really penetrate to the core of this experience that we're all sharing. Yeah. So we have to look behind the immediate. We have to look behind the reflection. And I think part of that is to consider what it would take for you to reach out to this person and to be the one to kind of, take the high road or to reach out and offer a handshake, to perhaps offer your forgiveness. I think this is a real opportunity here. Not saying that we have to allow people to take advantage of us. No. We don't have to apologize to everyone that wrongs us. No, I'm not saying that. But I'm saying in this particular instance, what would that provoke in you? I'm not saying you have to do it, but let's, as a thought experiment, right? Well, how would that make you feel if you were to do that? Just as a thought experiment, right? We see a lot of air here. And I think the air, more than being the actual action on the physical plane, I think this air energy is talking about what's going on within you, what's going on in your psyche, in your intellect right now. How are you thinking about this? And how is it making you feel? We see more feelings over here as we go to the path of the serpent. We see that this is making you feel something, for sure. This is a Princess of Cups. This is this is definitely making us feel a certain way. When we think about being the one to reach out and make amends, patch things up, offer forgiveness, or whatever the case is exactly. Right? Maybe no one's at fault. Maybe it wasn't something where somebody ripped you off or stole your idea or blamed you for something at work that you didn't do or took credit for something that was yours. Maybe it wasn't anything like that, really. But something about this person bugs you. There was some kind of conflict, some kind of disagreement, some kind of disharmony, right? But what would it take for you to be the one to reach out and say, let's work together, let's fix it, right? I think that makes you feel a certain way. And whatever this Princess of Cups is discovering, it's kind of it's that difficult feeling where we don't really, it's like you got a kind of a stone sinking down in you, right? And that stone is going to the very depth of you. So you're feeling this as far in as we can get, right? Deep into your emotional body. And it's not something that we really enjoy, right? It's kind of it's a new and kind of unwanted feeling. But it might be interesting to see how far down that stone sinks, right? Where does this Queen of Cups kind of end, right? How deep is the well here? And I think you might discover something about yourself here, and especially as we go back to the Six of Cups, because this is what we want. We don't want discord, right? Something about this situation, like I said, is still kind of eating at you, right? It's still giving you some anxiety. Maybe you're biting your nails, fidgeting. It's just kind of, you've got to do something with that energy. So maybe in order to restore this Six of Cups, or to safeguard this harmony, this tranquility, this Zen-like, feeling that we have, maybe this is the way to do it. Now we're at that Hanged Man. Hanged Man is saying several things. One, it's saying that you, by doing this, by doing what is necessary, by you reaching out and patching things up, you're safeguarding the Six of Cups. You are basically swallowing your pride here, right? In one sense. This card is also saying, because this is the card that's in our environment, the position of our environment and our relationships are dynamic with the environment. This card might be saying, oh, I picked it up upside down. This card is saying that in some ways you put yourself in this position. Not blaming you, but through all of our choices throughout our life, it doesn't matter what's going on. We can never fully say that something is happening to us, right? I think that takes away power from us, right? I'm not trying to get into any kind of victim dynamics or anything like that, all right? But just in terms of where we are in life, the feelings that we have right now at this moment, if we blame somebody else for those, or the situation, or the universe, or the world, or the boss, or the traffic, or whatever, we're taking away our own power. We're giving it up. We're sacrificing our own power willingly. We're saying, I can't do anything. This is all happening to me. Well, we're trying to get power back. The power to make decisions, the power to know ourselves, the power to create and direct our lives. Right? Doesn't mean that you're not going to run into obstacles. You're going to run into conflicts and people that bug you, etc. There's always going to be things like this. There are always going to be people that we don't really get along with. And not everyone that we don't get along with is in some way meant to be this reflection of ourselves. And we don't have to look that deeply into everything. You can if you want. You might be the type of person that does want to. Queen of Cups here. But as far as the Three of Wands goes, we're really looking to take responsibility for our own position. And it really comes down to these two. This is the position we're in. And we don't want to feel like a victim. We don't want to feel as if this person did something to us and now what am I supposed to do? Now I have this gnawing feeling in my gut. Well, let's take our power back. And maybe by invoking our Three of Wands, we can get the power to just, you know what, let's go and let's patch things up, and let's try to hash things out with this coworker so that we can all get to this productive state, right? So a lot of the Three of Wands is, it's not just about integrity. It's not just about you taking your power back. It's also about you understanding what your will is, right? What are you trying to do? Where are you trying to go with your life, right? What is the path that you're on? Well, that's what we have here at the end of the Path of the Serpent with the Princess of Pentacles. This is the manifestation of your ultimate goals and aims. Why are you working at this company? What are you trying to do? Trying to get promoted, trying to learn, right? Trying to earn a living, trying to climb the ladder, you know. So holding a grudge or having this conflict with this person, you know, our pride might keep us from wanting to reach out, but our better judgment might say, look, if you're trying to get to this Princess of Pentacles, let's do what we got to do, you know. And I don't think that is in any way sacrificing your integrity. I think that's building upon your integrity. I think that's you doing the right thing for you, taking your power back. I don't think it makes you look weak if you're to be the one to reach out and have a handshake with someone and say, let's tackle this project or this report, or I don't know, whatever you do. It's like there's a bunch of people in the kitchen, right? If you and one of the other cooks don't really get along, it's going to make the whole night a disaster, right? So one of you have to just kind of patch things up, because we're trying to have a good dinner service here, you know? So if that's the ultimate aim, there's a lot of power in being the one to do that, you know? And not just because other people are going to notice that you stepped up and did that. They will. People will notice. But I think the importance is what it gives to you, right? The knowledge that it gives you, the gnosis, the real kind of spiritual understanding of yourself. And I think if we tried this one time, and yes, first we have to just do the thought experiment and see how it feels, use that feeling as a way to understand ourselves. But then if we actually take the action, and if we actually reach out and do it, that I think is really going to spark something in you, you know? Let's see about the mystery card. Thank you, Frog, for your assistance today. I've been getting a lot of good names for the frog. I still need more names for our alien friend. Mork and Bowie are top contenders. But I'm going to wait till we get just a few more names before we do a final poll and kind of narrow it down. Maybe it'll have 3 names, you know, maybe just 2, maybe just 1. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But anyway, mystery card. I would like to see some sort of harmony, some sort of balance here. Yeah. Either some strong earth energy, some very cooperative earth energy, maybe something like an emperor even would be good, right? Getting that power, taking that kind of control over things. Let's just take a look here. We've got the sun. That's even better, really. Because the sun has the power of the emperor, but also has the kind of freedom now. It's this kind of lightness. It's this joy and pleasure and freedom. It really, honestly, calls us back to the 6 of Cups, because what is right in the middle of that 6, that hexagram, but the sun? And this card is even talking about the sun, right? It's ruled by the sun in Scorpio. But it's taking control, taking power. It's the freedom to know that we are an unstoppable force in our orbit, you know, that we're not letting anything get in our way. And the sun doesn't see clouds and think, oh, these clouds are dimming my light. These clouds are getting in my way. It doesn't doesn't take any notice of that really, right? The sun is concerned with burning as bright as it needs to burn in order to withstand the pressure of gravity, right? And continuing on its orbit. And that's all it really concerns itself with. And I feel like your orbit is one of love and joy and cooperation and harmony. The Six of Cups that we talked about is really all of those pleasurable feelings that come about when you're on your proper orbit, when you are burning bright and you're on your path. You know, so it's a very empowering card. It's a card that wants you to be uniquely yourself, and not to have to. I don't want to use the V word. I don't want to say victim. Not put ourselves in this position, kind of unduly, right? To accept the fact that everything that is in our path is something, it's part of our orbit, it's part of our education, our evolution. And I think the sun is really here to bring us the clarity that we need. So we don't see this as a loss or a sacrifice or as a defeat, but upside down as a triumph. See, now we're doing a dance. Now we are triumphant. Now we're emerging from this situation, not so much the victor, but the, just as the sun. Yeah, as the sun. Anyway, we're going to do an extended reading. If you want to stick around, just click on the link that's right up there. That'll give you access to every extended reading. All right. Thank you for taking this little journey with me. I appreciate you. Thank you also for being the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot.